Joy to the world. Joy to the world. Joy to the world. Joy to the world.
I made it home to the old stomping grounds. If you wanted to, you would. If you're ready to settle down, where will it be? I'm just a curious, nosy ass bitch.
Christmas gift from my staff.
This is what
Wow.
he's so excited to show you.
It's a good gift from them.
Look what they got him. IU shoes.
I can't wait to wear them.
What?
Thanks for the present.
Yeah.
That-
They're not gonna wear them. Look,
They're
that's
mine.
LEO, Indiana. Look at LEO.
Yeah.
LEO, Indiana.
Dad was so excited to show you his new shoes.
I knew he'd be so jealous.
He wanted to rub them in. I mean, they're sick.
Yeah, you can customize them.
Oh.
That is very nice of them to do that.
Leo, or Adidas, Hoosiers.
He's so excited, Phil.
See Adidas on the back, and Hoosiers.
You'll look like
He literally goes, Phil's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, you didn't have him. You didn't have him. Oh yeah, he's jealous. Look at him.
I don't even like
He's,
those.
he's eating faster. He doesn't like him now.
I thought they were cool.
He's trying to rub it in. Hey, hey, hey.
Got me.
Phil, you're so jealous. It's crazy.
I'm so jealous.
Dad just got us Chili's and said it's gonna taste better than Tao. We will see. This looks so good. Cannot wait to dive in. Hey, Dirty Forkers. As you can see, I have made it home to the old stomping grounds, aka my room. By the way, if you're a new follower, here's a little pan of what my old room looks like, although it looks way different now because it was way more lit when I actually lived here. It was like pink and green and it looked like I threw up all over it in the best way. Now it's a little boring because a lot of guests stay here, family, friends, etc. And obviously I still stay here when I come back home. But I decided that today's Vlogmas episode was going to be a classic, but always reliable Q&A. So I asked on my Instagram for you guys to send me a bunch of juicy questions, and I'm going to motherfucking answer them right now. Going to my Instagram, don't you worry, you little dirty forker. Slay what you wanna slay. First question is, what are your top 3 favorite songs right now? Great question. Probably Kill Bill by SZA. Listening to that nonstop. I'm trying to think of like the top of my head. Oh, One Step at a Time, Jordan Sparks. I love that song. What's the other one that I really like? Breakaway, Kelly Clarkson. Love that song. Honestly, I also have been just loving Taylor Swift Midnights, but specifically Mastermind. That's like one of the new songs that I've been really getting into. What are you looking forward to in 2023? Oh my gosh, so many things. First of all, just a fresh start, like the feeling of having a fresh start. I don't know. I'm excited to really focus on myself. I'm excited to grind, like silently grind. I'm excited to create videos that I've always wanted to create and just focus on being the best version of myself. Like I want to get back onto my health and fitness grind. I want to get really strong and really fit. I want to feel amazing in my own body. Looking forward to going on several more dates and, you know, meeting new friends, meeting new guys, meeting new people in my career or people in my industry. I don't know. I'm really excited about just like a fresh start, getting a hold of my finances. That's another thing I'm excited about. A lot of things. What was my first ever concert? I think my first ever concert was, I want to say it was like American Idol live. They came to Indianapolis and for some reason we went. I think it's because my dad's obsessed with American Idol. I will say though, I'm definitely envious of a lot of my friends and like family friends and stuff because I feel like my parents did not take me to like hardly any concerts growing up. I really started going to live shows and concerts when I started living on my own and deciding I wanted to. I feel like my dad is just so insane about sports that he obviously likes sports the most, so he would spend money on tickets to sports games, which like obviously I was grateful to go to, but I just don't really care as much about, like I would have died to go to like to a Hannah Montana concert or Miley Cyrus or like something like that. What's your take on situationships? How long until it needs to be defined? I've never been in a relationship that I've officially called a situationship. Like I feel like I'm one of those people, it's like I'm either in a relationship or I'm not. So anything that's not a relationship, like I don't even take the time to define it as a situationship, because at the end of the day, it's just like you're not together. If he wanted to, he would. If she wanted to, she would. I think if you're not in a relationship and you want to be in one with the person you're in a situationship with, you need to ask them about it. Or maybe like ask for a timeline, which probably isn't smart advice because they're going to say no and you're just going to get your heart broken, but at least you can move on afterwards. You know what I mean? What's your word for 2023? I haven't really thought about this yet. One that just immediately came to mind was the word momentum. I'm like really big on that word right now. What's a show you feel like you would slay as a host? Ooh, that's such a good question. Let me really think about this. I do love game shows. So, I don't know. I did love the TikTok live where I hosted the Are You Smarter Than an Influencer? Like taking that big would be something I would love to do. I feel like all those like game shows, they all have a male host. And not that it like pisses me off, but I'm like, it's about damn time there's a female host. Jeff Foxworthy does Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Joey Mandel did Deal or No Deal. The Jeopardy guy does Jeopardy. Like, it's all men. Steve Harvey does Family Feud. Like, I'm ready for some females up in here on game shows. Obviously, there's, like, Ellen that has her own TV show and Oprah that does interviews, but there's not really anyone that's hosting a live game show. I feel like there isn't really one that is popping right now with, like, younger people. I think that would be fun. I also would love to do some e-news stuff, like red carpet, like a correspondent for TikTok or something like that. I'm really manifesting some things like that. Would love to be on the red carpet for like literally anything, but especially like movie premieres, Oscars, Grammys, like VMAs. I freaking love the VMAs. Like working with MTV, working with YouTube. It's actually crazy that YouTube isn't like sending anyone on a red carpet. When you're ready to settle down, where will it be? No idea. It kind of depends on what my future husband's job is and what that entails and where he needs to be and also where I need to be at that point in my life. I don't know, the older I get and the longer I'm in LA, like I do see how it's realistic to raise kids there, just definitely like in a suburb part. What makes you laugh? What a great question. I really love when people can make fun of themselves. I mean, a lot of my friends, like my recent friends too, they're such theater kids and they know how to like take a bit and run with it, and like the extent that they take the bit to always makes me laugh because I'm like, I cannot believe we're still talking about this or we're still on this bit. So yeah, I would say like a bunch of people in my friend group make me laugh. Honestly, the Housewives. I'm always laughing on the Housewives. Are you doing anything fun on New Year's? Actually, yeah, I'm going to Aspen, which I'm so excited about. It's the first time I've ever been to Aspen. Been saving up the money to go. I'm really excited to travel in the new year, especially while I'm still single and young. It's like, what better way to spend my money than get life experience while traveling the world and meeting people? I'm also really big on this year trying to take a piece of something from every conversation I have with someone. So whether that be, you know, a new perspective or a good laugh or a new friend or I learned something new or whatever it is, like, I don't know. I feel like there was a moment, honestly, fairly recently, like, I'm not afraid to say it, that I kind of got caught up in, like, the LA scene and, you know, kind of doing what I hate about LA. It's like sometimes I get sucked in and then I get sucked out and then I get sucked in and then I get sucked out. And I feel like recently I was a little sucked in and I was only in my head like giving people the time of day that I thought would help benefit me, not in a weird like cloudy way, but I was telling myself like, oh, like you need to put yourself first, like, and you know, tell people no, and or like I don't know. And it's like sometimes like life isn't, I think it's good to be selfish, but to an extent. And it's like sometimes life isn't all about making yourself better. Like sometimes you can put yourself aside and help someone out or like make someone else's day for a second. I think one of the most beautiful things about life, not me getting deep, but like is helping someone else and getting that feeling of helping someone else. Like that, sometimes that feeling is better than like actually helping yourself. Does that make any sense? Sometimes that feeling makes me feel better than anything I could have done for myself. How do you manage your mental health and not get burnout? tips would be amazing. I think boundaries are huge. Like, even that word boundary is a fabulous word to integrate into your everyday vocabulary. Whether that meaning having a boundary with your going out friends, or a boundary with alcohol, or a boundary with, you know, working. Like, I feel like even for me, because I do have this job that's technically my 5 to 9, I need to have better boundaries with it, because even though it's like, yes, grind, like hustle, the house down boots, slay, like you're only gonna get more busy, etc. Like, I do need to have a boundary and a cutoff. Like, okay, 10 p.m. is the cutoff. Like, right now it's like, okay, I'm working till midnight. Let's get a little bit better each day, and let's work it down to 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whatever the case is. I don't know. I just feel like boundaries are really important. Any advice for someone that wants to start a YouTube channel? Babe, just do it. Just rip off the band-aid, stop making excuses, post consistently. You will learn along the way and you won't regret it, and you'll never look back. Battery died. Got a new one. Favorite holiday tradition? It definitely used to be every year we would have a Christmas Eve party at our house, or we would do it at one of our family friends' house, and it was lit. But now we don't do that anymore because my parents are divorced, and now the holidays, just like, to be transparent, it just feels weird. It's annoying going back and forth to my parents' houses. It's not as fun Christmas morning. I wish I could spend it with both of them. I wish I didn't feel guilty when, like, I'm with one of the parents more than the other. Yeah, I know you asked for my favorite tradition, but it's kind of gone now. I want to next year, though, like, maybe start the tradition of going on a vacation during the holidays, because I feel like coming home isn't the same as it once was coming, like, home for the holidays, because, I don't know, it's just not as fun, and I feel like I would rather be on vacation than, like, do gifts or anything like that. Maybe this is just me growing up. What have you learned this year? Great question. What have I learned this year? Travel fuels my soul, which I knew that, but it reiterated that. It's okay to say no. You have to water your own plant before you can water others. Life is short. Sometimes a night in can be just as fun as a night out. Yeah, those are just a few things. Do you think it's bad being 30 and not having a boyfriend, but I want to? Please help. I don't think it's bad. I think bad is like a bad word for that. I don't know. One thing I feel like I need to tell you, or I would want someone to tell me, is like, everyone's life is a different path. And some people's path means that they're married by 30. Some people's path means that they have children by 30. Some people's path means they're just starting the career they actually want to get into at 30. Like, you have to trust your timing. You have to trust, like, the process of your timing. I know it's annoying and cliche, but it's just like, your time will come to have the boyfriend, have the husband, have the whatever. And I know I want to be the best version of myself before I really, like, commit full force to someone. So do that, focus on you, and that's attractive to people. When people see you thriving, confident, living your best life, like, that's attractive, and boom, you know, all of a sudden you have a husband, you're pregnant, like, shit just happens. So just keep focusing on yourself. You got this. It's definitely not a bad thing. 30 is the new 20. 30 is so young. So I look at it as a positive. Like, you are the most sure of yourself the older you are when you find your person. Do you have a stylist? What does a personal assistant do? Do you have one? I don't have a stylist. What does a personal assistant do? A personal assistant to me is someone that would help with email, would help with scheduling, would help with, like, appointments, travel, like, scheduling, all of that. A plethora of things. Running errands. Yeah, that's what a personal assistant is to me. I do not have either. But in the new year, I might be looking for a personal assistant. Any exciting plans for 2023? I am traveling a lot. I have 2 insane, epic, out of the country weddings that I'm going to that I'm so motherfucking excited about. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. 5 years from now, do you still think you will live in LA? Honestly, yeah, I do. After living in LA, do you think Midwest people are as nice as people say we are? I do, but I think it's in a different way. Like, I think some situations where LA people are actually nicer about things than Midwestern people, like, even in just, like, different perspectives or different beliefs. Like I feel like in LA, even if someone's like a bitch up front or rude up front or they don't remember your name or whatever, like they're still open to hearing someone's beliefs that are opposing. Whereas I feel like sometimes people in the Midwest are like in a bubble and they only like they're not open-minded as some people in LA. But I think initially meeting people off the bat, like Midwest people are nicer. Like they don't give a shit about how many followers you have, what you do for a living, how much money you make, what your designer bag is. Like Midwest people just want to get to know you. But I think when it comes to those tough conversations about beliefs and politics and religion and like those deep things, like sometimes I've found that people I used to be friends with, or honestly that I'm still friends with, or even family members with, like it's sometimes hard to like fully get in there. And I'm like, knock knock, hello. Tips for career progression, knowing your worth in a career setting. I think the funniest thing about this question is that like we all know when it's time to move on, whether that's in a romantic relationship, a working relationship, like a toxic family member relationship. Like we all know when it's time to move on. Sometimes we just don't allow ourselves to think about it. I think when you start dreading doing the tasks that you used to love doing or get excited about or get a little nervous about, that's when you start need to reevaluating, okay, where's my next step in my career? How do I want to progress and move forward? I'm a huge fan of always challenging yourself, stimulating your mind, trying something new. So once you're a little too comfortable, getting a little annoyed, getting sassy, dreading things, that's when you need to take action before it gets really, really, really dreadful and before you're miserable. Do you eventually want to move out of downtown LA? Honestly, yes. I love downtown LA. I love my apartment. I feel like once this lease is up, which is in about a year, I will move to the west side. I absolutely love the west side. It is probably my favorite part of LA. I love Brentwood. I love Santa Monica. I honestly even love Venice. I see myself more though in like Brentwood, Santa Monica area. It's just I love like being outside, walking everywhere, feeling safe. I feel like there's a lot of like-minded individuals like me that live on the west side, which I'm excited to hang out. Like there's a lot of hot guys that live on the west side, so yeah, that's where I'm hoping to move. What's the best gift you've received and given? One of my favorite gifts that I ever gave was to my brother last year. I got him these Saint Laurent shoes. That's probably the most I've ever spent on a gift. Actually, maybe it was the bag I got Alicia for her birthday. Last year for Alicia's birthday, I got her this Alexander Wang like neon bag. Also giving my mom Elton John tickets. That was really cool. Oh, honestly, I loved giving Julia her AirPod Pro Maxes. That was so fun. Just because like I love giving people gifts that I know they'll like use and love. So yeah, that was super fun. My favorite gift I've ever received, Alicia gave me these off-white cowboy boots a couple years ago, which was like one of the most insane gifts I've ever received in my entire life. Probably the coolest gift I ever received though was when I was in second grade and we got our dog, Lexi. She's passed away now, which is really morbid and sad. But she was a Yorkie, and basically the story is that we woke up at 6 a.m. I was in second grade, so I was probably like 7 years old. And we like go upstairs where like all the presents were, and there's this cage, and we saw this like little living animal. And so we go into my parents' room to like wake them up, and we're like, Mom, Dad, like Santa brought us a hamster. We're like, Santa brought us a hamster. We're so excited we got a hamster, And they're like, what? Really? Like Santa brought you a hamster? Meanwhile, like literally they got us a dog. And it's just like such a funny running story in my family because it's like this little tiny Yorkie was so small we thought it was a hamster, and it was just the funniest thing ever. How did you find your love for hosting? I feel like finding my love for hosting was something that I always had a passion to do, but it wasn't really an easy thing for me to get into. So I feel like I took a different non-traditional route to getting to where I am now. But one of the things I love the most about hosting is that it like is a mix of something that I really love and also that I'm good at. So I feel like I'm a good listener. So I'm good at coming up with questions because I'm like really listening to what the person says to me. The only reason I realize this is because honestly, my friends in LA, specifically Alicia and Ashley, like anytime I would ask them a question, they would be like, TK, that's such a good question. Like, how did you think of that? And all the time they would honestly gas me up, and it made me think like, damn, like, am I good at asking questions? So and then I started realizing like this isn't just them that's saying, oh, you're asking good questions. Like there's people on your podcast that are like, oh, that's such a good question, oh, that's such a good question. And I was like, damn, like, am I fucking good at asking questions? Like I didn't even realize it about myself. I'm just a curious, nosy ass bitch, you know. And I listen. I really try and listen, and that's the key to asking a good question, I think, in my opinion. So taking that and then my love for just people and getting to know them and getting the nitty gritty, and I love learning from other people's experiences. I feel like there's really nothing like it. I mean, prime example, like my relationship with Alicia, her being a mentor to me and teaching me so much about this industry and this world and this career. Like I've gained so much value from not even living it, but just learning from her living it. That's what I love about my podcast, is like teaching so much life experience that someone might have to go through to learn, when you can just listen to one podcast and learn all their mistakes and, you know, whatever, so on and so forth. Last question is, what's your biggest motivator? Probably like freedom. I don't know if that's the right word, but having the freedom to pick and choose what I want to do with my life. Like for instance, just the other day, one of my friends invited me to her wedding, like kind of last minute. It's like in a couple of months and it's out of the country. And like the fact that I could even consider going was like so rewarding for me, because I was like, whoa, this is insane. Like I've worked my ass off to be able to, in my eyes, last minute go on an out of the country trip and like pay for it with my own money, which normally when I would go on a big trip like this, like I would plan it like a year in advance. Don't get me wrong, like the Europe trip was very sporadic and spontaneous too. But when that moment happened, I was like, this is why I work hard. Is because I want, when any given opportunity pops up, I want to be able to say fork yes without having to think about, you know, so and so logistics about holding me back. All that to say is that is a big motivator for me, is having the freedom to go and do things at the most random times. Like that motivates me to get up and work my ass off, I guess. I also like, there's a lot of things I want to do. Like I would love to bring my family on vacation one time, like surprise them with that. I want to be able to, like one day when I have kids, I want to be able to fully give them attention and have extra money hopefully in the bank account, so I'm not running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to make ends meet and not being around my kids. Like that is a luxury for some moms, to like actually be around their kids, because you know there's so many moms out there that are working and they hardly get to see their own kids. And I want to work my ass off now so that I can be around them eventually. Obviously that's like way out, but I don't know what else motivates me. Also, I want to live a long, healthy life. Like, not only do I want to be fit and feel good about myself and my own body, but I want to be able to, like, move around when I'm 60, 70, 80 and walk around just fine and be healthy. And the world really is your oyster. And as I get older, I want life to get even better, you know? People are always like, your 20s are your best years. I'm like, I hope my 30s and then my 40s and then my 50s and then my 60s are my best years. Like I want to continue to get better. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to learn. And yeah, that's my motivator for like eating and staying healthy. Also, like the more obvious answer is necessity really is the mother of invention. I don't know if you guys remember, but last Vlogmas I was so motherforking like stressed out about moving into my apartment by myself, like without a roommate. And I was like so worried about affording it, and I really did trust like necessity is the mother of invention. Like when you need something to work out, you forking make ends meet, you know? Maybe I took on more brand deals this year. Maybe I upped my rate. Maybe I posted more on YouTube. Like whatever the case is, that's the biggest motivator of all time, is necessity, needing to make ends meet, or else you'll be kicked out. So yeah, hope that you guys enjoyed listening to this Q&A and essentially listening to me ramble. But it was so fun chatting with you guys. I honestly love doing Q&As because, like I said, I feel like I'm always the one asking the questions, and it's fun being in the hot seat with you guys because you guys ask good questions too. So I appreciate it so much. Thank you again for following along on Vlogmas. If you haven't seen the rest of my Vlogmas episodes, please go check them out because I've been grinding them out. It's been such a fun time. I can't wait to finish strong this year. I love you guys, and we will chat tomorrow. Peace.
Making moves, making moves, making moves.